If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here. Let's go now. A little life out here. Let's have a little life out here.
What it do, Packer Nation? Welcome to another week, another new episode of Ahead of the Pack. Shoot, I'm out of practice. Brought to you by Cheesehead TV. I'm Camille Davis, joined here. We got the full crew in the building this week. I'm joined by Monte Moore and Dan Kotnik. Gents, how are you doing after a disappointing, frustrating, all of the negative type of adjectives you could use after that Packers game on Sunday against the Panthers?
Yeah, about as well as I can be, I suppose. Like, it was no part of the game was really enjoyable at all on Sunday. So it's just, I'm glad that we get to move on from that. And we're kind of like the first, turn the page, piece of content. So yeah, I'm definitely ready to no longer talk Panthers and talk Eagles.
No, that's right.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, which, as we all know, is the Midwest way of saying doing terribly. Yeah, that just, especially like Camille, we talked about it last week of like, we just on a high after the Pittsburgh game and feeling like this team is on the right track. And it was the best performance from so many people. Yeah. And then to just juxtaposition it against that was really rough. So not doing super great in terms of that.
Well, like Monte said, we are the Turn the Page podcast. We are focusing not anymore on the Panthers and everything that came from that. We are focusing on the Monday Night Football matchup against the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. And we're going to get the show started off with our opening drive where we talk about the biggest storylines that we feel are going into this game. So, Monte, it's been a few weeks since you've been here. We're going to start with you. Opening drive, biggest storyline for the week, Packers, Eagles.
I mean, I think it's unfortunately going to have to be, okay, what does the offense look like without Tucker Kraft now, right? Yeah. Basically, in any of the games, he was, obviously having a true breakout season on his way to an all-pro, pretty much. But when things kind of like get close to the vest and the game gets tight, the last few weeks, it's kind of been like, okay, Jordan is going to look for Romeo, Tucker Kraft, or, and then we get a dose of Josh Jacobs. So they kind of run it through those three guys when it feels like they have to get something that they need. And it does sound like Wicks will probably play this week. So you're getting a weapon back. But yeah, to me, it's going to be, this was starting to turn into a Tucker Kraft, like as your first option. So you're going to have to pivot quickly. And how is he going to, call this offense when he can't go to what has been its best player so far?
Yeah, I had the exact same thing written down of like, just how is this Packers offense going to go forward? How much can they correct in a week after what we saw against the Panthers when you lose somebody as valuable as Tucker Kraft? Because like I've seen a lot of conversation going around about how Jordan Love's not throwing the ball as deep as he was earlier in the year. And it's like, a lot of teams are really playing that too high. Like, we're going to keep everything in front of us. You dink and dunk your way down the field and see if you can do it, how your defense want us to do it. Let's see y'all do this too. And the Packers haven't just been able to generate too much success from that. I think in large part too, because the run game has not been working consistently. Like Josh Jacobs had himself a pretty good game, one of the better games of the season so far against the Panthers. So I hope they can build on that. But not only are you losing Tucker Kraft as like the pass threat, you're losing Tucker Kraft, the run blocker, as well. Right. And when you're talking about a Packers team that has struggled with the run game, losing another key blocker, it's not a positive. It's going to make the job even harder, and they've already had some struggles. So it's like, I do wonder if you see the Packers lean into some more heavy personnel where they bring 6 offensive linemen out there and you have Belton as your nominal tight end just to kind of get the blocking together. Or do they go the other route and it's like, hey, actually, we're going to run a lot more 11 personnel and we're just going to try to beat people in the quick game. But then again, you lose Tucker Kraft, who's a yak monster. And if teams are trying to keep things in front of you, you need guys that can pick up the yards after the catch too. So like, do you see the running backs more involved in the passing game going forward as well? Like, I'm just really curious what lever Matt LaFleur and the offense looks to pull now with Tucker Kraft out and with some struggles with the run game still, plus some inconsistencies with the passing game.
Yeah, and with the 11 personnel, I think this past week was I think it was like 74% of the time they were in 11 personnel. Like that's some of the highest we've seen from Matt LaFleur. I think it just the Tucker Kraft injury just is a soul crusher for this offense, because like you said, Camille, how much can you change? Not so much correct or anything, but like everything kind of revolved around Tucker Kraft's versatility. Like you said, you don't have anyone there to replace him. You can bring in an Anthony Belton as a sixth offensive lineman, but you're not sending Anthony Belton out to run,
don't give Matt any ideas.
We saw it in Pittsburgh when they had their linemen split out.
First play on Monday night is a short out to Anthony Belton. Yeah. But yeah, like it just, he was one of the few things that was always consistent about this offense, an offense that finds themselves to be very streaky and very inconsistent. So to lose him is going to be a major ask. And yeah, very curious to see what they do with that.
Yeah, same. Because like I mentioned, the Eagles love to play that too high as well. So like they did a good job. I felt like against this quote unquote test, like against Pittsburgh, did not do a good job against this test against the Panthers. So it's like you have another opportunity here. Primetime game, national television game, Monday Night Football, all eyes on you. This is not a Monday night doubleheader, which I hate that the NFL does that. It's like one of my least favorite things, but all eyes on you against the Eagles, a team that won Super Bowl last year. It's a measuring stick game too.
All eyes on you unless you're a YouTube TV subscriber.
Yeah, unfortunate about the YouTube TV folks.
Man, it was so funny too, because about the YouTube TV thing, I live in the local market for the Cardinals, so the game was on normally, and I was reading Twitter. I was like, why is everyone like freaking out about not seeing the game? I was like, oh.
Like I live in the place. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting test. So that Monte, me and you are on the exact same page of like what we're really paying attention to heading into this game. Dan, what stands out to you as a big storyline for Packers and Eagles?
Yeah, I'm my lead for this is how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? By old man, I mean Matt LaFleur, because I mentioned this. I described it this way earlier this week to some people that I know. It's like this team will have these moments where everything is working great and it's clicking, and Matt LaFleur seems to be just dialed in, and then they confidently turn around and step on a rake and smack themselves in the face because you just don't continue to do what was working. Or if something isn't working, a refusal to move away from that. Nothing on the outsides of the offensive line, whether it was the short screen games or running to the outside with Josh Jacobs, worked at all. And Matt LaFleur continued to just push through there. And the thing that
wide receiver screens were killing me.
Yeah,
driving me up a wall.
And because they're not being blocked up properly either. Like it's even hard for me to say like, hey, that's a bad play call. It's like execution has to be better. So again, it's like going into this week, how much is correctable? How much can you correct from everything that ailed you last week? Because to your point, Dan, it did not work. It just did not work.
Yeah, the thing that stuck out to me about the way Matt LaFleur handles it was what you posted, Monte, the Ben Solak stuff about how when under Matt LaFleur with Jordan Love, when they're a heavy favorite, they seem to reel in Jordan Love's ability to push the ball down the field. When they're a heavy underdog, it's literally almost a 3-yard average difference. Like I don't understand. Like it works to run this through Jordan Love and to be aggressive and push down the field. And I don't know how many times you have to run into this wall of changing your offense based on the opponent when it should just be go out and let these guys cook, because this offense can be good against anybody.
Let me ask you this question before we move on to connections and things like that. We're heading into week 10 here now in the NFL. When you think about the Packers' identity, do you know what that is at this point in the season? Like, would you have something you can point to like, hey, this is Packers football right now? Because I think part of what fans have been complaining about is because the Packers themselves set the expectation so high in those first two games where you saw the defense playing this very dominant brand of football, guys flying to ball ball carriers, not missing tackles, swarm tackling, pressuring quarterbacks, all of that stuff. And then on offense, you're seeing them move the ball down the field. You're seeing them be able to hit explosive plays down the field to keep opposing defenses honest and things of the sort. But we haven't really hit those highs consistently since those opening weeks. And of course, injuries play a part in that. You put more things on film, teams can scheme. We understand that. But I was thinking about this earlier and I was like, I'm not sure what the identity of this team is at this point. And I hate to keep harping on like the Tucker Craft part, but like his energy is what I feel like the team wants to be, of like that dog in the fight that's not going to go out. Like, I'm not going to run away from you. I'm going to run through you. And that's a mentality for both offense and defense. But like, I don't know. Like I couldn't tell you this is the Packers identity yet.
I mean, the frustrating thing about it is we know what they wanted to be, right? They did all this work on the O-line. They wanted to be a big physical offensive line. They wanted to be a team that was going to run the ball on you, whether or not you knew they were running the ball. Like if the box is loaded, the Packers still want, like Matt LaFleur wants to run the ball. Like obviously he's a great play designer. I still have faith in him as a play caller. He wants to run the ball and it's just not working well. And kind of, so that kind of throws off what your identity can be, because you want it to start there with square one with, we're going to be a physical team that can run the ball. And like Camille said, part of it is injuries, but some of the guys just aren't particularly playing well. And this entire thing was molded around Elton Jenkins. And he hasn't lived up to either the standard that he's played with in the past, or you could also say what they expected out of him by doing this reshuffle. So yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I'm not sure what their identity currently is, because they still did have that, well, we can win basically whenever we want, intermediate on dump offs to Tucker Craft, and he'll take it. He'll get at least 5 extra yards because he'll run through one person.
At least.
So yeah. I mean, that ties in, Camille, with you and I for the headline. Just, what is their identity going to be now that they're down a key piece? And this is what Matt LaFleur was brought in for, because it's to be able to be as efficient and as efficient as possible on offense, regardless of the pieces. He's the designer.
I mean, I think it goes back to what we talked about in literally our first episode leading up to the Lions game, was we know what the culture is in Detroit. It's set by their head coach. It's set by their players of grit. And it makes me sick to my stomach talking about Detroit Lions culture this way. But whether you hate it or not, like, that's what it is. That's what they're built on. And I think really, even at the highest highs and the lowest lows, if you look at it, ever since Aaron Rodgers was traded, Matt LaFleur has not been able to establish a true identity for this team. And whether that's because of Jordan Love's injuries affecting how they can run the offense, or Joe Barry's defense holding this team back, et cetera, like whatever you want to kind of point to, the being the youngest team in the NFL 3 straight years in a row and not having enough veteran players there to establish a culture, it just feels like the identity was always, it's Aaron Rodgers and the rest will figure itself out after that. Ever since then, you've seen, like you guys said, we see what they want it to be, but it just has never fully materialized. And I think that's really a large symptom of what's kind of the issue this year.
Yeah. And here's the thing with that being said, like, we're entering the week 10 right now, and a lot of the quote unquote like gimme games the Packers might have had on their schedule are behind them now. We've talked a lot about just how the end of the season for the Packers is going to be a test after a test after a test, especially since so many of the NFC North games are going to be played, at the end of the year here. So for the Packers, there's still time for them to really establish what the identity is. Like, wish they could have found a way to win against the Panthers, even though it didn't look pretty, while you stack wins and kind of try to figure things out. But this is a team too that does tend to play up to competition and down to competition. They tend to play to whoever they're playing against. And with them having a gauntlet of games coming up and understanding like, hey, we're getting ready to get into that playoff run mode. Like, I'm expecting the Packers to look and execute better than what we've seen the past couple of weeks, where it's been up and down a little bit.
It's that was the perfect word. Like, the gauntlet for their schedule starts now, pretty much. They, we thought they got their brain fart, we can't do this again game out of the way in Cleveland. And they've struggled since then at certain points, but they've still, been winning games.
Mm-hmm.
That Carolina game, if they're not as good as we thought they were going to be based on those first like 2 or month of the season, it's going to end up being a really annoying like mark on their schedule. It's just it's forget the fact that they were 13 point favorites or whatever it was. Forget the fact that they might win it with McManus making that shortish field goal. It's just, in general, you're going to possibly look back on that, not remember how the game played out. You'll just remember it as that's one they absolutely couldn't, like, had no business losing. So starting, this Monday, at least temporarily, you have the ability to kind of wash that taste out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's a home game again. I think we talked about before, it seems like they've been chasing like the vibes and the high of those first 2 games. I think you've got a chance here to have that back, right? It's your only Monday night game of the year. You are at home again. You're playing the defending champs. Like, that atmosphere you've been chasing, you have the ability to get it back, but it all hinges on playing well.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Dan, I'm not sure if you have any closing thoughts on the identity conversation, but if you do, I want to hear them. And then I want you to bounce right on into the connections that you found this week between the Packers and the Eagles.
I know one.
I know one too.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys nailed it. It's the fact that we're looking ahead to the schedule and basically everything behind us that's happened so far, based on how the rest of the NFL has played out, especially the NFC, it's almost meaningless because so many teams are almost dead exactly where you are right now, and you're one of the few teams that has the bulk of their division schedule still ahead of them.
Yeah.
There's still a possibility this Packers team ends with the same division record as they did last year.
I hope not.
Going 1-5. I mean, I hope not too. But it's just, this is the next 4 weeks, basically from here until Thanksgiving, will tell you what this team, what the 2025 Packers are going to be. Are they going to be contenders, or is injuries and poor execution from guys that you expected to step up going to tank this season? The next 4 weeks will tell you exactly what it is. On the flip side, let's look at the connections for this week, because yes, I think there's a couple here that we all are well and truly anticipating. One, obviously, we weren't expecting until week 17, which is, of course, Jay Alexander is back in Green Bay for the first time as an Eagle. I think I saw he's had 5 total tackles for the Ravens this year. Not super great for Jair. Speaking of former Packers who are trying to restart their career in Philly, did you guys remember AJ Dillon is now a Philadelphia Eagle?
Oh, you forgot about AJ?
He hasn't gotten that many. Has he gotten even like 10 carries for the Eagles?
I think he's at 6 carries.
Yeah, he's not being utilized.
Yeah. And then also this one, I think it's been several weeks since we've had the flip side of a former opponent that's now a Packer, but the late training camp edition of Darian Kennard coming in, traded from the Eagles right near the end of the training camp. And of course, because I will always find a way to talk about the Bowling Green State University, current Philadelphia Eagles quarterback coach Scott Loeffler, former head coach of Bowling Green for the past previous 5 seasons, 4 of which included Carl Brooks. So Scott Loeffler, the Eagles quarterback coach, the former college coach of one Mr. Carl Brooks.
I love
Talons
that.
up.
I love that. All right. Let's get into some bets for the week. Let's do this every week where we pick something that you might not necessarily find on a Prize Picks. I know last week we both had one that was Prize Pixie. I kind of wanted to keep running mine back until it actually happens because it has to happen at some point this season. Like it has to. But Monte, what is your bet for the week?
All right. I mean, I'm glad you let me go first because I'm sure I'm stealing one of yours between the two of you.
All right.
Over or under 3.5 tush pushes by the Eagles against Green Bay. Packers, the face of banning the tush push, right? Everyone gave us crap about it online. Everyone talked about the organization and Mark Murphy. And here we are, 10 weeks into the season, and people have been complaining about the tush push
So much
for 10 weeks. So the rest of the league owes the Packers an apology. You can submit those at Cheesehead TV, or you can send them directly to 1265 Lombardi. But you owe the Packers and Mark Murphy an apology. But are we going over under 3.5? Because the Eagles are going to want to rub this in.
Over. 4 is a lot of tush pushes, by the way. That's a lot of tush pushing.
They find a way to be in 3rd and 4th and 1 8 times a game.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over.
I
I feel like they're gonna do it, like you said, to kind of be like, I know it was y'all, you Green Bay Packers, y'all wanted this gone. Like we're going to do this.
I swear, Sirianni coaches, if you need 9, get 8, so we could do the tush push.
Yeah, I mean, we brought up this the same little bet on Lombardi's bar, this past episode, and my thought was, I wonder if, because Saquon, I assume Saquon is going to just be unleashed in this game. I'm curious how many times they'll find themselves in those situations to get tush pushes. But like Monte said, like it just feels like it just naturally happens for some reason that they get put into a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 1. So yeah, I mean, I got to take the over on it.
Yeah,
I'm going over too.
It feels like a safe bet in this particular game. Like they have a point to prove in this game. Dan, what is your bet?
I mean, yeah, it was about the tush push as well, but it's not exactly the same as Monty's. And I'll switch it up here a little bit because I had it that the Packers' proposal to ban the tush push would be brought up or referenced at least twice because Joe Buck,
they're going to bring it up every time they run it. And then if they get it, they're going to be like, no wonder the Packers wanted to ban it. Like they're going to say that every time.
But here I will add a little twist to this. I'll change it up here a little bit. I'm actually going to say that we have at least one penalty called on a tush push for the referees to prove a point that they can do this against and they'll do it in front of the team that tried to get it banned, and they'll say, look, we're here for you guys, we see you. So I think there's going to be at least one of those times where it finally gets called because they're going to be watching it like a hawk,
especially because last week the controversy was that they obviously fumbled,
right,
and they just blew it dead. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that feels like it's going to happen. That feels like it's going to happen. So I'm taking the over on that one. It happens at least once. Like, so I'll put the over under at 0.5. It happens or it doesn't.
I'm going over.
Yeah, over. Yeah. I think that happens. And just on general principle, especially now with Tucker Kraft being out, and we have to wait and see. But from what I can understand, it feels like Matthew Golden is expected to play in this game on Monday. Does he finally get his first career touchdown?
You know what? I'm going to say no because I always think it's going to happen every week. So I'm now in the camp that he's actively not going to score, and maybe that will course correct and he'll actually do it.
Yep. Yeah, I like that energy because it has to happen at somebody. How does Savion Williams get a touchdown before Matthew Golden? Like that still blows my mind.
That's what Matthew Golden's thinking.
Like no hate because it's a Packers touchdown. Like I just want the Packers to score regardless. I don't really care who does it, but Golden got to get in the end zone. And what better place to do it than in Lambeau in front of the faithful against the defending Super Bowl champions? Although last week I had an argument for it too, but like it has to happen soon.
Josh Wiley, anytime touchdown score incoming.
Oh, actually, you know what? I've got a bonus one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I guess I can't. Okay. I guess this could be a two-parter. Do you think Jair will be active for this game?
Yes.
And if so, are the Eagles going to make him a captain for the game?
They better not. That's so petty.
It's
Like,
the
get outta
it's
here.
Sirianni though. He's petty,
That's true.
and so is Jair.
I'm gonna go with yes and no. I don't think they make him a cap. I mean, they could.
Right?
He's only been there like a week. Like
Not even.
not even a week, and they're gonna make him a captain for his first game.
Like, if he was there from the beginning of the season, I'd probably be more inclined to be like,
Yes,
yeah, that
right.
happens. But if they do, I will laugh. Like, I'm just gonna send you a message immediately and be like, oh, the petty levels were higher than I expected.
I mean, like, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You're just calling
It doesn't.
a coin flip.
But it's just that the whole
Yeah.
thing around him not being one was that they were in Charlotte in his hometown,
and he decided to be one.
So now they're coming to Lambeau.
Do you think it's just Jair and AJ Dillon coming out to do?
That would actually be really funny. You know what? Actually,
pay attention.
Annoying.
I'm actually hoping for this now.
They're gonna run one of these tush pushes with AJ Dillon.
Oh my god,
that's gonna be annoying. You know they're doing it.
Oh, we'll see how petty the Eagles get on Monday Night Football. So let's wrap here, gentlemen. Prediction time. What is your score prediction for the game, and who do you have coming out on top? I am going 27-24. Packers victory. I think it's going to be a close game. But ultimately, I do think that the Packers bounce back from performance last week, and they put something stronger on tape this week. I feel like when the Packers tend to have their backs against the wall, and Matt Fleur can kind of be in his bag even a little bit more, being like, hey, we're a little understaffed here, not as many weapons, or however you want to say it. Like, some creativity tends to come out, and you see some things where he really gets into that right play calling bag. So I think it's a bounce back week for everybody. I think it's a bounce back week for execution. Because they just do tend to play a little bit better when the stakes are higher, which is why, ironically enough, next week's game against the Giants, I think, is an interesting one. But we're not there yet. We're some of the Eagles. I think the Packers win by a field goal.
Who's the kicker?
Who? McManus to start, but I could see if he misses any more field, especially like these like 45, like those field goals, like the 57-yarder, I get it. That happens. But the 40-yarder ones.
The horrible thing is starting to happen again. And you guys will know the feeling when it's when a drive is done, it's a field goal attempt. You're like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel good about that 44-yard field goal. I had bad feeling about it. So yeah, that's really annoying that we're back in this spot. Like, we are perpetually in this cycle of kicker PTSD.
Yeah.
If he misses another one like he did last week, I think he gets booed off the field.
Yeah, it's a home game. Yeah,
a home game in prime time. Everyone's taking Monday off and getting nice and liquored up before Monday Night Football. If he misses one, I think he starts to hear it pretty heavily, especially if things aren't going very well. I'll just kind of, Camille, if you don't mind, I'll just run into
sure.
here because I have 35-24, and I'm gonna take the Eagles.
I don't listen. I'm not mad at it. I understand the why.
And I have in that score there, I'm anticipating a missed 3 points left on the field because it just doesn't seem like Monte said, like it seems like we're back in this situation where it's becoming. I mean, he's been kicking, I think, at around 66-69% for the season. So basically, it's very nearly a coin flip. It's a two out of one chance that he's gonna make it. It's still a pretty heavy odds that he's going to miss every single time he comes out there. I just think what I saw from this defense against Carolina really scares me. The Philadelphia, thankfully, has been kind of in a similar situation where they play up and down a little bit, but until I see this defense really turn around and give me a week 1, week 2 type performance, I'm gonna have real questions about what they can stop.
That's fair. That's super fair.
So, God, I gotta go last and be the tiebreaker. Um,
Yeah, it worked out real well last or on
Yeah.
the Steelers game.
It's just split, just down the
Yeah.
middle, 1-1.
so I'm gonna go. So for the first time this season, I'm gonna go with my heart and not my head, because my head tells me the Eagles should win this game. They're coming off a bye.
Mhm.
They're a more, veteran, well-disciplined team relatively. Jalen Carter doesn't spit on anyone. They got a dynamite set of wide receivers, but I'm going with the Packers on this one for the sole purpose of I still think this is a really good team. And I said on social media, I still think this team can win the Super Bowl as long as they don't have like another defensive lineman or a weapon go down for a long period of time. And I think all the stuff we talked about, like you're back at home, you want to get this taste out of your mouth, all eyes are on you. Matt, like Camille said, Matt LaFleur sometimes does his best work when he's short-staffed like this. And we say that, right? It's not like the cupboard's bare. Like Wick should be back. You still have Dobbs. Watson is back now. Golden looks like he'll play. Still have Josh Jacobs. So I just think that this team will find that mentality, right? What they want is still there. I think particularly the guys rushing the passer are pissed about last week. Like 5'7" Bryce Young barely got touched and he only had 100 yards passing.
Yeah.
So, it's a primetime game. Micah Parsons loves playing the Eagles, right? Obviously that was his biggest rival for his time in Dallas. So yeah, I think it won't be as great as we felt after like Pittsburgh, where they just, they blowing them out by the end. But I'm going to go with a hard fought 28-21. I'm going to go 28-23. 28-23 win.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because I still do believe in defense. Like they were frustrated last week, but it's not like they were bad against the run.
Yeah.
Like, we know that. But like even with that, like if the Packers did just about anything at all on offense, they would have won that game. So I still believe in the defense. And, we didn't talk about this really. The Eagles haven't looked like, world beaters the whole season. So they're kind of on that level of the Packers, where they're a really good team that's played frustrating. They've just been a little more consistent than Green Bay. So it's not like they're a juggernaut walking in here.
Yeah. And I think that I feel that way about like the NFC in general, which is why, like, even though the Packers have been frustrating and struggling in some areas, I'm still like, they got a chance still. Like, there's a real shot for this to be a team that you do see in the Super Bowl. They got things to clean up for sure. Like, let's be very clear, but not to the point where I look around the conference and I'm like, ooh, don't think they can beat this team. Like any given Sunday, I think the Packers can go out there and line up against anybody. So Monday should be fun. It should be a really, really fun game. And we'll be over on Pack-A-Day as well on Monday, previewing the game a little bit more in depth over there, day of the games. Make sure you check that out. And check us out over there every single Monday on the audio side at Pack-A-Day. And also, if you want to follow me, you can catch me at Camille Monet on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Guys, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky as well. I'm at Ferdturgeson, Ferdturgeson.
Yeah, and I'm on Blue Sky at Dan on the Mano.
And we appreciate you all for tuning in. And as always, go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.